Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Cyborg. So apparently, Ray Fisher's Cyborg is going to be completely removed from the Flash movie, but Ray Fisher saying that it's not like that. In fact, he has like a big old statement that talks about everything that's going on with what's going on with Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns, and just everything, the investigation that was happening with Justice League. But see, my problem is when it comes to this entire cyborg thing, it just proves the failure of the New 52. And I know what you guys are saying, like, wait, hold on, what does Ray Fisher Cyborg has to do with the New 52 and DC Comics altogether? Well, if we look at the New 52, we know that it rebooted the entire DC universe. And we know that when it started, the Justice League had took out the founding member Martian Manhunter and replaced him for Cyborg. And we know that Jeff Johns has a soft spot for Cyborg because Cyborg was the only hero from his hometown, Detroit, or whatever. That's why we have those football teams, and that's why we have those references of Detroit for Cyborg, because he literally is from Detroit or whatever and stuff like that. And we know Jeff Johns forced this character onto a team that he didn't belong. And it's just the same thing with Ray Fisher. You're a newbie actor being in a movie that you don't really belong at all, especially without the credits earned. You know, it was such a waste of time for your character to be in the Justice League movie. And we know the only reason why your character was really in there was because they literally forced Cyborg to be something he's not. They tried to connect him with the whole dark side, mother box, father box thing that doesn't work for his character. It never worked for his character to begin with, you know? And seeing all this stuff with Ray Fisher just kind of connects the whole thing of when you force diversity into something that didn't need diversity, you get nonsense like this. Because, no offense, I don't know what's real or what's not between the whole Ray Fisher, Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns, Josh Whedon thing going on. But this man literally blew up his own career of saying that he's not going to participate in this stuff. He was saying that he wasn't fired or whatever. But now WB was like, no, you're fired. And then he wants to write this whole entire thing out or whatever. My thing is, you were a newbie actor. No matter what the reasoning is or whatever, if there was some racism or whatever and stuff like that, which I understand, you know, you pull aside, you talk about it, and maybe come to a Jesus moment with each other. But let's be honest, when you're at work, your boss is going to yell at you, your boss is going to be crucial on you or whatever. As long as they're not out of pocket with you or whatever, stuff like that, you should be fine. From what you're telling me, it's like you're saying that it's abuse, as if they physically abused you guys at the thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. You're basically saying that they abused you at this job that you're doing for Justice League, and they didn't. They literally didn't do anything as the sort, because you're not giving no proof. There might have been some, you know, shenanigans behind the scenes, the treatment of you guys, but as far as like some kind of alleged abuse, you know, where is there going to be? And then to throw all this stuff on Twitter, and you have some people who are rooting for this, and then there are some people who don't. Like, you don't know what's real or what's not. You know, you're over here saying that, you know, you're not going to work with Walter Hamada because he's the most dangerous enabler of all, but you don't have no proof, you know? And this just wraps around the whole fact of how much the New 52 was a failure. Cyborg being a Justice League member is a failure. Ray Fisher is a failure. Like, you're having this big opportunity and you failed. You failed in the comic books and you failed in the movie. I just don't know what to tell you. And then y'all pick an actor that literally makes the character look even worse than before, because this is going to reflect back on Cyborg, and all it's going to do is make people be like, he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. He never belonged at all. You know, out of all the Teen Titans members, you take Cyborg because Jeff Johns has a soft spot for him, and you should be thanking Jeff Johns that you even have the opportunity. You haven't done much with your career. As much as I don't like Ezra Miller, at least Ezra Miller has a long career sheet that we can follow. Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, all the people, even the supporting characters that was in Justice League had more of a rap sheet than you did. And you're over here complaining about, oh, you was abused and all that kind of nonsense. Okay, I guess so, but it's really hard to believe when you're not really coming up with receipts and stuff like that, and then you're throwing it on Twitter or whatever, and it's like you're trying to get the public to be with you, and then you're trying to throw all this racism and stuff like that. And that's the thing I don't like. I don't like when people in general try to use racism as a reasoning on why things don't work out, especially when it comes to a job or something like that, because there are times where you can call it out, but for the most part, when it comes to a movie and stuff like that, I doubt it. It's just kind of like the whole thing with Zoe Kravitz was talking about, oh, it was racism for when she applied for The Dark Knight Rises, when she tried to, be Catwoman or whatever, and then they was like, no, you can't be Catwoman because the character isn't black. Where was the lie at? That's not racism. That's the character. Character isn't black. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I don't like that victimhood that some of these celebrities be trying to do or whatever. It's the same thing with the whole Me Too movement crap. It just makes no sense. And then you're still talking about it. Do you not have a real job, Ray Fisher? Please get a real job, because this doesn't look good on you, and it doesn't look good for black people, to be honest. Because then they're going to take what you did and they're going to hold that against the next black actors. And don't say they're not. They are, because they do stuff like this. They really do stuff like this. They give a chance to the wrong person of color, and then they use that as some kind of excuse to, make it harder for a person of color to do more work or whatever, or to be in the lead or whatever, or take a chance on somebody. Because now when you do stuff like this, they're not going to try to take a chance on a new black actor, upcoming actor, because they're going to be like, well, we tried, and then here come Ray Fisher, crybaby behind, sitting up there saying all this crazy stuff and making us look bad. This was not the way to go, Ray Fisher. You should have stopped with the nonsense. It's so uncalled for. It was so unnecessary. You should have just shut up, do your job, and then, later down the line, maybe you could have talked some stuff, but you literally committed career suicide. Because think about it, what studio is going to take a chance on you anymore? What studio is going to take a chance on you? Because they're going to be like, well, if he don't get his way, he's just going to whine and moan on Twitter and stuff like that. And see, this is another thing about Twitter that I can't stand, is like, people say this stuff, this crazy stuff, people remember, and it's going to be thrown in your face constantly all the time. I just don't like where this was going. I didn't like that you were sitting up here whining and crying about the nonsense or whatever. Y'all got Josh Whedon off the thing. Good. Okay. But trying to get Jeff Johns, trying to get Walter Hamada and top executives at DC Films, I don't get it. I don't get it. That one to me doesn't make any sense. You should be thanking Jeff Johns that your character is here. He has a soft spot for Cyborg. His character is from his hometown, Detroit. He wanted this character to be more than what he was. He wasn't ready for the big leagues. Just like Ray Fisher, you wasn't ready for the big leagues. And this all comes back in a full circle of how much of a failure the New 52 was, Cyborg being part of the Justice League, and you being a failure as Cyborg in the live action movies. You had one job, and while you're doing all that complaining and stuff like that, you should have been building up your career like the rest of them. Henry Cavill doing Witcher and another movie and stuff like that. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman 2, Wonder Woman 3, the Cleopatra, the Owl, some kind of mystery boat theme movie, some movie that she's doing with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. You know, Ezra Miller, you know, Fantastic Beast, and another movie and two other movies that I forgot. I don't really care about Ezra Miller, sorry. Ben Affleck doing movies, directing and producing more stuff. You know what I'm saying? And maybe upcoming HBO Max Batman stuff. Please, God, let Ben Affleck do more Batman stuff, please. And you have all of the even side supporting characters. Amy Adams doing stuff. You know, Jesse Eisenberg doing stuff. You know, all of these other people, and you haven't done anything, and yet you have the nerve to complain about stuff or try to play this victimhood thing, and I don't like it. It makes it harder for everybody else that's upcoming, and it makes people of color look bad, and I don't like that neither. So stop with the nonsense, stop with the crying on Twitter, and just let it go. You know, you lost, take the L. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, get over it. And then maybe over time you can probably rebuild your relationship or whatever and stuff like that. But if I was you, I wouldn't have pushed myself out of a movie like that, because you want your name known. You want people to look at your performance so they can be like, we need him for the next movie. You know what I'm saying? But for you to, you know, kill all that goodwill over some nonsense that you're not really giving receipts to, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. I just think you're being a big baby at this point. So please, Ray Fisher, do us a favor. Get off Twitter. Go meditate. Go into the Himalayas. Find that inner peace. Come back and be a better guy, because I know you can be. And DC, don't ever push Cyborg ever again. Keep his ass away from Justice League as far as you can. We don't need it. Thank you. But yeah, that was a little video. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.